Okay, good evening.
Because I'm in the front row.
We never have these problems when we hide.
Hello, can you hear me?
It's because there's a newbie.
Richard, we're just getting the Facebook up. Be just a minute.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Okay. We'll do a quick roll call anyway. Sandra? Okay.
Oh, Sarah.
Glenn Archambault?
Paul O'Lean?
Frank Alleman. Okay. Citizen statements and petitions. Who would like to speak? David? You? No? Okay, then we'll move forward. Could I have approval of the minutes, please? Special meeting, January 28th.
I'll make that motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Paul. Thank
I'll
you,
second.
Glenn. Any comments, any changes? All in agreement? Thank
Good.
you.
Yes.
Approved. Thank you very much. New business. I would like to welcome Sarah. Thank you for being here. She is our new member on the committee, and we look forward to working with you. Okay?
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing what I can do with this department, so I'm excited.
Excellent. Just great. I just also wanted to thank a previous member on the committee who is no longer with us. He resigned about a month or two back, and I never publicly thanked him because I wasn't sure what was happening. All I want to do is I want to thank Blair, and I will send him a letter to thank him for what he did. He was a very good, valuable member. Okay. We are meeting with the Board of Recreation tonight. Ta-da! Please, come on up.
Good evening. I'm Bucky Lobish. I'm the Recreation Director. I want to introduce you to my staff. Anthony Isley is our Assistant Director in the department, and Holly Blade holds many hats, actually. She is our Theater Director, but she's also on the Board of Recreation, so she represents the Board of Recreation
Just
tonight.
leave it. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
So if you have questions about programming, Anthony's our guy. If you have questions about theater, Holly's your girl.
Great. Tell us what you think you would like to see happening in the next 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years. What is your vision for your area particularly? But more than that, even if personally you have some thoughts, tell us.
Yeah. I think, sky's the limit with recreation in Killingly. Number one, currently we were a little limited in space where we're currently located. One, gymnasium, very small. Two, theater, extremely small, only seats 225 people. Obviously, everybody knows that we're going to be moving to what is the old Westfield High School. There's a lot of potential there for expansion, but in the end, it's going to come down to money. There's a lot, when we move there, we're not moving into, obviously, newly renovated all spaces that are going to be used. A lot of the funding that was spent at Westfield was on roofing, windows, a lot of that type of infrastructure that you're not going to see. Some of the rooms, like our cardio and weight rooms are going to be brand new. But again, we're bringing our current equipment over that we currently have. So it's going to be a slow go. The gymnasium was not redone, so what you see is what we have over at Westfield. The auditorium is now in a separate project because it needs renovations. It is not usable over at Westfield, so that's going to delay. When we move, theater will not move. Theater will still be at the old community center until the new theater is ready. Some positives, some really good positive things that are going to be happening. We're looking at creating a senior center over at Westfield. The cafeteria at Westfield has been redone. It's beautiful. It's big. It'll serve a lot of purposes, including some of your voting, but it will be hopefully home to our new senior center, which we now collaborate with LIR. We do a lot of recreational programming. We've expanded our senior programming, which is something we've been trying to do. So overall, we're excited. I think it's going to be long-term. It's going to take some time before we get to where we want to be there. We're also gaining that entire property outside. You know, the football field, the soccer fields, in that field where the softball and old baseball field were, are going to need some work. Irrigation's going to need some work. There's a lot of infrastructural things that need to happen, or outdoor stuff that needs to happen, improvements there that we're going to have to work on. Bathrooms at the concession stand need some work. So there's going to be a lot more money if we want to expand. So our hope when we move over there is that we're able to maintain what we have in our current building, but some of the space is going to be a lot bigger. So like, for example, our exercise classes in the rooms that we have now, we may be only able to take 15 participants in a class, whereas now we'll be able to take up to 20 or 22. So those kind of things are going to expand. So our program is going to be expanding. So we are excited about that. We do need also to work on a certified kitchen. We currently have one in the building we're at. That's why we do breakfast with Santa with the Lions Club. That's why we do, Stew and Story for seniors, those different events that we have during the day. We will not have that when we first move. We will need to certify our kitchen or our culinary rooms. So those weren't redone. Very minimal stuff had happened. In the cafeteria, that kitchen has not been touched. That was not part of the project. So again, that's going to need some funding to get that up and running. And same with the culinary room that we're going to be moving into. So we're working on it. I think, Anthony and I have talked a lot about it. It really does come down to funding. We've heard things about, I've watched past meetings that have said everybody wants more recreational opportunities. And I know I've talked to KBA. Everybody's also mentioned a lot about how can we be similar to Putnam with special events. I think we all have to be part of it. I think we can't be the lead on every single event. Putnam Recreation doesn't do every single event. They have 26 out of 52 weeks that they do events. There needs to be more of a collaboration, I feel, with town agencies, the business agencies, emergency services, the schools. And I think if we can get those groups together, I think we have a better chance. I think there's a lot of things people just don't know that go on in Killingly. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense to you guys. And, you know, I wrote stuff down, but it just, like I said, town, school, KBA, and emergency services, if we can get those groups together, I work a lot with Putnam. I used to work there when I was very, very young, years and years ago. So I have a good rapport with them, and you know, I've served on some of their boards when they've hired their new rec director. I served on the committee there, and when they just hired their new assistant, I also served on that board, so I am familiar with them. I had brought with me, just to give you an example, I think you guys were looking at hoping we could do something like this down the line. And again, this is basically a calendar that Putnam comes up with every year of all their events. But it's not just Putnam Recreation, it's the entire town's events. But again, it's a cost. So we currently, I just wanted to give a couple stats. You know, we draw from the well, as I call it, quite often here in Killingly. Budget-wise, you look at Parks and Recreation or Recreation's program budget, if you eliminate all salaries and contractual services that we pay, we operate on $54,000. That's theater, that's all our programming, any supplies we need for the entire year. That's what we operate on. Yeah, our budget's a big number at $597, but those are all, that's, you know, youth hoop referees, youth hoop scorers, timers, door monitors, the list just goes on and on of contractual and seasonal people, summer camp, counselors, directors, assistant directors. So when you take all of that out, just things that we need on a yearly basis, that is what we use. And I can tell you, theater donates and spends a lot of their own funds to put on their productions. I mean, Holly can talk a little bit about that after, if you have any questions about that. Where I was going with it was a lot of the events and a lot of the programs that we run are supported by the businesses. Fireworks, 100% fully funded. Spooktacular, also. Brochure. Our brochures that we put out, we do 3 a year, okay? They're sponsored by businesses, $13,500, okay? Each one of these would cost, what was it, $7,500, Anthony?
4,500.
40, right, for this,
For the postcard.
for the postcards that we send out. When it was just the books, it was over
$10,000.
$10,000. So, again, another budget cost cut. We started going with the postcards to get out to people with the QR codes on them. I'm the last of the old school, if you really want to know. After me, I love the book, okay? So we still get about 250 books. And what we do with them is we deliver them to the senior housing, so that because a lot of our seniors don't like the QR code system, right? But when I'm gone, I'm pretty sure it'll be mostly this kind of stuff. So I'm the last of the. So you got a good thing. You got the new generation. I'm still the old, and so we try to mix both when we do this. So the other things that we do that some people might not even know, scholarship fund for summer camp. We send letters out to businesses for that as well, and we raise between $12,000 and $15,000 a year to give out scholarships to people who need financial assistance with summer camp. And then the toy drive, which didn't exist either. We raise about think we raised close to 10,000 this year. So overall, through the businesses, we're raising about $60,000 a year for programming. That's why I hesitate when I say, how do we expand on events and programming? I can't go out and ask. It's hard enough that I ask for about $20,000 for fireworks at the same time I'm asking for about $12,000 or $15,000 for summer camp scholarship fund, because the letters go out at about the same time, because the fireworks are June 26th, and we need that money by then, and then summer camp starts right after, and we already need that funding. So it gets very, very difficult. So, so that's my spiel so far. You want to? Sure. Yeah.
Hi, committee members. For those of you, a lot of new faces here. Frank, I've seen you at the LAR stuff. Jaylee, I worked with a little bit with her connection through Westfield Church. So I'm the assistant director. It was kind of him to say that I was new, but I didn't always have all this gray hair, so I'm kind of tenured. So I've been with the town. I've been with the town for almost 20 years, 7 of that as the recreation supervisor before I was promoted to the assistant director. My vision with recreation in Killingly and in most towns, recreation is kind of the heart of your community, your parks, your programs. It's where the community and business owners come together to celebrate a 4th of July, or during the summertime, during a summer concert series, to relax with your neighbors, enjoy some music. The parks, which we have a gem of a park, Owen Bell. There's no doubt that the growth of Owen Bell Park, with the additions of the splash pad and the skate park, the athletic fields that are over there, they provide passive recreation for people to get out, sit on a bench, have lunch outside. So that's just the park side of things. But when you get into programming, those group fitness classes, those youth basketball experiences, where kids are learning how to be teammates with one another, to socialize. We all know that everyone loves to have these phones now, especially kids. In our summer camp program, we've transitioned to a no cell phone policy. We want kids to be able to learn how to say hi to their other campers with them. So you got to go with the trends of new stuff. But I think, and I know I'm rambling, we're very passionate about the programs that we offer. We want them to be affordable. We want to work with local businesses. A lot of them we have developed those working relationships with. I'll use the Killingly School of Music, for example. During the summertime, we do group violin and guitar classes. If a family wants to get that experience, it's at a low reduced rate, and then if they want to continue on at that business, they can. Think of it as a feeder program. We did the same thing with arts and crafts classes when Tunk City was on Main Street. So there's that collaboration with the local businesses, also with the local school, the library. There's just a lot of activity that we put out, and then also, as Bucky was saying, the special events that we are able to maintain. They take an army. They take a lot of volunteers. Yes, we ask for sponsorships, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes. I will use Holly, for example. Holly is a volunteer theater director, along with Natasha Darius. I want to mention her too. If we didn't have these folks, these programs wouldn't be possible. So we're vetted in our volunteers. We recognize our volunteers through a Volunteer of the Year program. Summer concerts and fireworks, I have to give a huge credit to Jeff Grocke and John Normington, their 2 residents that provide lighting and sound. Those all come at a tremendous expense if we had to pay for those. So that $20,000 for the fireworks, that could be more. But the team at Recreation supports one another. We work well with the other town departments, school businesses. So that's kind of what I have.
Before I let Holly speak, I also want to mention the team. So the rec department actually is made up of, obviously, myself as the director, Anthony's the assistant, Tommy DeRozier is our recreation supervisor. Some may say, well, what role do they play? We didn't mention this, we have 370 participants in our youth hoop program. So think about what that takes to put together, how many teams, how many referees, how many, I mentioned scores, timers, door monitors, how many locations we're at. It's not just one building. And again, the collaboration with the schools, because we use KMS, we use KCS for practicing, sometimes KIS, and obviously where we're moving to Westfield. So it's a lot of work. And in our offices, we only have one full-time staff member, and we have one part-time staff member during the day. The other thing I wanted to mention that's a little different about our department, that's different amongst all the other departments, we open at 8:30 in the morning and we don't close till 8 or sometimes later, 10 o'clock at night, depending on programming or what's going on. So we also have a part-timer in the evening in the office. So there's it is an army that I have under me, and they all are, like I said, 2 part-timers and only 1 full-timer. So when we move to Westfield, that's going to be another concern of mine, just because of the way it's set up where we're currently. I'm literally 5 seconds from the office where my office is, or I'm 5 seconds from the auditorium. Where we're going to be located at the new school or Westfield, I'm about a minute and a half to 2 minutes from the auditorium, a walk. So, and it's a buzz-in system. So again, there's gonna be some changes. There's gonna be obviously some things that are gonna have to be adjusted when we get over there. But we're excited. We're looking forward to moving. I'll let Holly talk a little bit about the theater.
My name is Holly Blade. Myself and Natasha Darius have been running the theater program for the last 8 years, fully as volunteers. Everybody on our team is volunteers. I think our main issue, honestly, is our budgeting issue. Every year, people are asking for more from the recreation department, but wanting to pay less in taxes. And so last year, I myself personally made up for more than half of our theater budget for last year out of my own pocket, and otherwise we just wouldn't be able to put on shows. I did a little bit of research before I came. Last year we had 392 individuals participate in our theater program, all in separately individuals. Some of them did more than one show, but as individuals. So 392 is a lot of people that take part in our program for free. We don't charge anyone anything to participate in a show. I think we also made up more than half of the recreation revenue line for last year. Moving over to the new space, it will make us the largest community theater in the state. But along with having more seats means that it's going to cost more to put on a show. The way that licensing goes is you pay by the number of seats you have. So by the potential number of tickets you could sell, that's how they charge you for your license. So right now we can sell 200 tickets. It might cost us $3,000 to put on a show. But when you can potentially sell 900 tickets, now you're paying $8,000 to put on a show, even if you still only sell 200 tickets. So I think that some of the cost road bumps that we're going to face are still, one, unknown, but two, are much larger than maybe people understand they're going to be. The other thing is that, and I don't work for Parks and Rec, I'm on the board, but The other thing is that when we are looking at things like employee retention, when you hire someone and every single year at budget season, their job is on the cutting block, that makes it really hard to keep people motivated and invested and get new people to come in. So Bucky and Anthony are lucky that they don't face that hump every year, but some of the people in the office do. Our recreation supervisor, every year he's on the cutting block. How do you keep people motivated and invested and not looking for an opportunity outside of Parks and Rec if we can't even just guarantee them basic job security? They have children, they have wives and spouses and responsibilities. So I think that in general, I guess for our department, I would like to see just some more stability on that front, where we can look at an employee, we can look at someone who might come to the board or to their employers and be like, hey, I have kids at home, I have a spouse, like, I need to know that every June I'm not looking for a new job. And then I think that having just some more realistic expectations of what we can do as a department with what we're given. When you think about the programs that we have, the largest programs that most of our community, like fireworks, every single penny of that is self-funded, right? We have to go out and approach businesses. We're asking the same people year after year to fund a community event. And then people will go online and complain, like there's all of this other feedback, right? But I don't think a lot of people do understand that it's not a town-funded event. This is an event funded by small business owners who are going through the same struggles that you and I are going through with their wallet at home, that are giving money for the betterment of our community. So I think that just those two factors alone, if we could find a way to maybe support our budget a little bit better and support our employees a little better, and let the public know that a lot of the events that they do see happening are funded by small businesses in town. So whether you show your support by not complaining online, or, you know, supporting those small businesses, or making your own high five donation toward the fireworks, things along those lines, like just a more collaborative community approach.
I will say, though, during budget time, because obviously I come to the meetings, the community, when it gets really tight, really supports both the library and the recreation departments. When we've been nervous about losing employees, those community members come out, because you always hear, and I always found this just kind of funny, in a way, that we're a non-essential service. Yet most of the complaints are, we want more recreational opportunities. And I get what they mean by we're non-essential. Yes, obviously you need your roads plowed. That's an essential service. I understand that. But, the opportunities that we give our kids in this community comes through library, recreation, and actually school as well, obviously has many programs. I think it's just, how do we get everyone in the same room to be able to get that collaboration, to come up with how we get the word out to the entire community. I think, we could make this meeting 2 minutes. That's it in a nutshell. How do we get that, if that's the big question? And then once we do that, we need that commitment to continue. One of the things that always bothers me is when recreation ever gets involved with an event or a program that is not ours. And I'm not saying this happens in Kinley, it's happened in other towns that I've been in. Once we're in it, those that were in charge will then say, we just can't do it anymore. I think it should be under the rec department. and then it falls on us. And then we're out, again, scraping and scratching for funding to try to keep it going. So I think we need to, that's where we need to go, is to get that collaboration and get those people in the room and see if we can keep it going so that we can expand on programs. We do here in Killenly, I got to be honest with you, I'm obviously from a smaller town, but we do so much improvements to our parks, to our programs. I mean, we're going to have the Brickyard within a year that's going to have opportunities downtown. You look at our downtown area, we're now, when I go to KBA meetings, obviously getting more involved with all these new businesses that are on Main Street. Spooktacular, just as an example, every year has expanded in the parade because more and more businesses want to showcase their business in the parade. So those are good things. It's just we need help as well with being. We can be a piece, but we can't be that main alone, standing alone, doing all of those big events. And I think that's a little bit of the difference between us right now and Putnam. They have that. So it's just how do we get there? And I think we can get there.
Yeah, that's an interesting point and a good one you're making about how to get the people who do things to work together. And on the commission here, I have tried, and we've all tried, to get groups to work together a bit more. And I arranged a meeting with the main educators in town, QV, Ellis Tech, etc. And one of the things that came out of that is they don't talk to each other. And I said, what? They used to 3 years ago. So I suggested, you need to talk to each other. The same is what you're talking about. And I can see, how do you do that? I'm not sure why. I'd like to just ask a question. I hope it won't be too controversial, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Go ahead.
Do you have any idea of the amount of money that the Putnam puts into the rec department? And I don't know, if you don't want to answer, that's okay.
I don't. I mean, it's public information. I don't have their budget, but it is. I can tell you just based on staffing. I know they have a lot smaller staff, but they have a before and after school program that they run in Putnam. They have the same, maybe not the same numbers, but they run their own youth hoop program, basketball program. But the way they're structured, their main thing is events. That's why they have 26. However, I will tell you that the main reason they had asked me to be on the committee to hire the next assistant, so the woman that was in the office who was only a part-time worker left, they changed the position and changed how it's structured because their rec director who retired, the new rec director, said, I'm working basically almost every weekend besides the 35 hours in the office. I need help. So now their assistant, who is now going to be full-time, will be splitting duties. So they'll be partially in the office and partially working some of those events. Because again, they don't run all 26 events, but they're part of many of them. Some of them they're not, but most of them they are. And if you ever notice when they advertise, there's always a big sponsor. Mm-hmm. So that's where a lot of their funding comes. So I don't have an exact answer for your question.
Okay.
Actually, I do. Holly just looked it up.
Obviously, and I understand this is budget time and a little controversial, but still,
Their event budget alone is $43,581.
event budget alone.
Yes, event budget alone.
Okay.
So,
I understand budgets, difficulties, and taxes.
yeah.
I
their
just-
their parks and
interested-
their parks and grounds is $684,000.
Okay. Thank you for answering that question.
Yeah.
You've clearly indicated, as you've watched our meetings, that many of the comments are, there's nothing we're doing in town, this place is dead, what the hell's going on? And what you're showing is there's a lot going on. So we're back to communicating it, letting the town know, hey, the stuff is there. And you mentioned the list that Putnam puts out. And I think you're doing a little bit more advertising. Do you have any thoughts there on letting the town people know better? Hey, folks, this is on, it's here. I'm not sure what the answers are.
Well, it's funny, I didn't show you this, so, during Spooktacular event, so that event became, it started as the one parade, right? And turned into a 1 week event, now it's almost a full month. So I actually, similar to what Putnam does just for that event, I actually created an event pamphlet that includes businesses in town that are doing events during that time, our events, our senior events, leading up all the way to the parade. But again, it's at a cost. We pay for this, and this is only 1,500 pamphlets that get distributed throughout the town. So, and I think I paid might have been $600 for just 1,500 pamphlets. So, you know, how do we get that word out so that it doesn't cost us? I think it has. I think it starts with that collaboration with all those people that I've mentioned getting together. I think that's where we have to start, and then I think we need to come up with, you know, money's given to KBA through the town. Maybe we start sharing some of those resources when we're doing events, so that we have the funding. That is another option. Maybe that, you know, they're given the money and they can do what they so choose to do when they run their events. But I don't know, maybe we need to put theirs and ours together so that we can, so that we can do more.
First of all, I want to thank you, volunteers, staff, et cetera. I do think Parks and Recreation are a huge contributor to the culture of a town, to the reputation of a town. So we appreciate it. I haven't been here that long, 4 or 5 years. What I'm interested in, and as Frank said, what's the vision? And I appreciate the responses in terms of some stability of funding that will allow for stability of personnel. And that's critical. Like you said, keep people motivated, which do better things for the town. And you know, a little bit more of sustainability of the overall budget. But in the year 1 through 5, are there programs that you're not doing right now that you really feel that the town needs and could benefit from? It's always easy, more money means bigger of what we're doing now. One of the things that we've heard of a lot is we need more things for young adults to do. You know, and I didn't get a chance to ask what your demographic is in terms of these participants of the 390 kids and sports programs. Are they mostly elementary school, junior high age? And I think what we're hearing a lot of is what do the kids who aren't into sports in high school aren't into, you know, what are the options for them? So I circle back to my original question. What programs do you feel are needed, you know, and could maybe be implemented over the next 5 years that you're not doing now?
So within our department, we focus programming on basically from littles all the way to seniors.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a diverse, and over my tenure of working for the town, we've run small child, like pre-K type motor development classes.
Mm-hmm.
They've happened through instructors that we have hired, or working with a local business at the time that would run those types of programs. Like I want to pick on Rena from Tunk City.
Mm-hmm.
So things have come and gone, but one thing that's always been a staple is that we try to offer something for everybody. Also knowing that when we're looking to develop programs, we are keeping a pulse on like how many yoga studios are in Killingly. Obviously, we offer a yoga program, but we don't want to be competing in the same pot of people. So how can we, you know, if we're light in, say, an adult program and we know that there's a local business, like we're going to reach out to them, be like, hey, do you want to have a feeder program? So we kind of hit all age groups. I will say that at the, you know, we have a really good working relationship with the Killingly Intermediate School. Matt Sirkowski is the new principal there. Matt Sirkowski was also my assistant director when I was the director of our Camp Wallaby program. So we have a long history, working relationship there. And I learned that the school itself has its own after-school programs that they run too, that a lot of folks don't maybe know that it's available to them. Just in our winter brochure here alone, we have a full, fast offering that is free during the April vacation timeframe for the Killingly School District. We're running some new middle school age blacklight movie nights. So there's a lot of information. So when we do our marketing, that goes through the school system. That goes through if we have funds to be able to go and put it in Turnpike Buyer Shopper's Guide. We word of mouth, going to the schools during the lunch time frame to be able to sit back and forth with the kids and be like, hey, this is coming up, and actually hand them flyers, take that home to mom and dad. There is Facebook. A lot of time and effort is spent as marketing on Facebook. That could be my full-time job, just doing that alone. We do a little bit with Instagram too, but we live in an era where everyone wants information immediately, right away. Get back to me right away. We can't sit at a computer the entire time when we're running events or people have questions like, where's parking? Where do we do this? So our advertising is a lot through these brochures, flyers. I'm sure when you walked into the town hall this morning, if you come in through the front entrance, this is plastered on there. So we're very creative in targeting where we're putting our program information out there.
And I appreciate that, because I know that can be a full-time job, marketing yourselves, et
Yeah.
cetera. And I appreciate the fact that you're monitoring in terms of what other programs are going on in town. I think really what my question was the fact that out of a lot of the comments we've had is the targeting of the young adults. And I'm assuming that's basically high school kids, because after that,
Yeah.
there's other things. But I go back to the original question, which is, are there programs that you're not able to do now that you do want to see, first, in the next 3 or 4 years?
Right.
I appreciate the fact that you got a large, and I'm glad that you got a wide range of people that you're focused on and working with. I'm just kind of interested in, like Frank said in the very beginning, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Is it doing similar but bigger? I know you mentioned some things fade in, fade out, other things fade in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just looking for, is what is it that,
We follow
what's the dream, so to speak?
Yeah, we follow trends. We recognize that not everyone is athletic, so the arts, the theater program. And also, I don't want to put Holly on the spot, but theater has really branched out to folks that there's sensory-friendly shows. As I sit here right now over in our community center, we have a community drumming circle that's going on. Again, all ages, abilities. It's for everybody. It's challenging trying to, and I'll use high school for example.
Yeah.
I try to grab our programming at the middle school level and hold on to them
Hold
when
on
they
to them
hit
as
high
they go in.
school. So doing like intramural types, things that you would see in college. Maybe you didn't make the collegiate team, but they have intramural type stuff. So my hope when we get over to Westfield, we have that big, nice gym to expand and grow into those possibilities for the town.
Fill the space.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. And I look,
Yeah, I think that I view your question a little bit differently than they do, because they are the ones coming up with the current programming, right? I'm just kind of a bystander. But I think that some of the things that we could add, if we were able to access the right type of either volunteer or hire the right type of staff, it'd be great to offer some programming for like new moms, right? There's not really anything immediately in this area. Day Kimball has a program, but like for new parents who maybe need some support, a breastfeeding support group, things along those lines. Or even just like a mommy and me drop-in class. I know that Two Dogs tried to offer like a small group where they had like a mommy and me sing-along. Things like that I think are a big need in our community. And then when we touch base on the high school age to young adults, like maybe early college, maybe some of our kids at the QV program, there are certainly programs that we could add to the repertoire that we don't currently cover because we just don't have the staffing for it.
Sure.
Or the right volunteer we haven't come across the right volunteer to start a Magic the Gathering group or a Dungeons and, like, there are certainly demographics of kids in that age group, which really at this point are really our critical age group, right? 9th grade to maybe 19 or so. A lot of times kids who are not involved in sports or Cub Scouts or Girl Scouts are the kids who are at risk for falling into less than desirable behavior, or maybe just need to find a social circle.
I think that's where that suggestion comes from, to be
Yeah,
honest
I
with
agree.
you. And
So there are things that we could offer with the right staffing or the right volunteers, or just the ability to staff the building longer, or find someone who is, versed in those topics. That's not, Dungeons and Dragons is not my topic, but I'm sure that we could maybe find a way to pair up with Chubby Dog or something and offer some more programming. I will say this, we have tried to offer programming for that demographic before, and then it's not very well attended, but maybe it's just a consistency thing. Maybe we need to find one and say, we're gonna do this for a year. If nobody comes, nobody comes, and let's try it out. But again, that requires someone to staff it, someone to create the program, and then just be willing to stick it out until the word spreads and people show up.
Well answered, thank you.
Yeah, come down, we'll come back. Go ahead.
So again, thank you. This is fantastic. Yeah, so just to echo what Paul was saying, that was it me? The teenager theme was repeated over and over again in terms of programs for them, as well as getting the word out. So I think, thanks for addressing that. I had a question about the new facility, and you're gonna have access to the ball fields as well, right? You said.
Yes.
So, is there are we allowed to, or is there any exploration of opening that up to private entertainment to bring in additional revenue? I think
Are you talking about the auditorium?
auditorium or outdoor concerts. I don't know if it's appropriate because it's in a residential neighborhood, but is there an opportunity, or have you thought about a revenue stream there? I think about, I come from Rhode Island. We had Diamond Hill Park is a venue where they had an amphitheater outdoors, and people would pay to rent it. So
I'm laughing because we were just, I mentioned the Brickyard, right? It's going to be happening. So one of the things that we're hoping with some of the funding that may be utilized is to buy a portable stage that can be moved in different areas and can be rented to someone or private entities who want to do that, so that we could bring in revenue. But to answer your question about the auditorium is going to be, Holly had mentioned 900 seats for theater, but we're also looking at it as dance recital possibilities for rentals, concerts, and things of that sort in between our calendar of theater events that go on. So yes, there is a potential for revenue stream there. Outdoors, again, there's no real staging, but even on the current football field, you think about where the bleachers are and on there, there is the potential to do something like that.
great.
And we have rented our space currently, the space we're in currently. We did a dance recital last year, last New Year. So we do have some opportunity even where we are now.
Yep.
But again, it's just letting people do that in a cost-effective way.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Also want to mention, there are things that happen that people like, I mean, we advertise, but we don't, people don't sometimes know about. Like this year was the first time we've had ice skating at Owen Bell Park in about 4 years. I mean, it's weather dependent, obviously. We got to wait for the ice to freeze to a certain level before we can open it up. But there's ice skating. Another thing I didn't even mention, and again, I'm not sure, that the entire community knows about it, but it's quite busy. If any of you have ever gone up to Hygiea in the summertime, there's swimming up there. So again, those are all things that fall under us that we provide for the community. So it's not just at the community center. It's everywhere. We have softball leagues that are at Owen Bell. We do. We're going to be doing this spring a pop-up disc golf at Owen Bell for people. I've been asked if we could find an area because I developed an 18-hole disc golf course in Brooklyn where I was previously, and we don't really have an area in Killingly where we could do that, a wooded area. So we're looking for opportunities because those are passive. We consider that like passive recreational activity for people, and those are again teens and young adults who like to participate in that. You don't really have to be a strong athlete to do those kind of things. So those are all things that we've been looking at and adding to our programs.
You mentioned Owen Bell, which is a really nice place. I've often thought that in some ways it's not as utilized. You have lots of things happening there. You have the bandstand there, and I don't know if that's changed or not. It used to be that it faced towards the tennis courts and not the other way. But the other way is where the pond is, where people could be sitting, music, concerts. I see great potential there. That you need the stage maybe to open the back up. I don't know how to do it, but I've thought of that for a long time. It's such a nice place. I would love to go and sit there and listen to music or a play okay. So
Yes, we go ahead.
We have explored that before, and it's not that we won't continue to explore options down there. We are aware of whomever designed the stage way long time ago before us. You got the sun that's setting right in your eyes. We deal with that at the fireworks, and that's something that bands give us feedback on too. You also need to think of your patrons, your guests. There's no shade. You're just beating in the sun to a band that maybe has some coverage on it too. So you need to be mindful of that. That's why it's so nice at Davis Park. Typically, we average around 250 to 300 guests at our summer concerts. People drive by, they see it, they'll stop, they'll come in. I will say that with the new parking that's on Reynolds Street right now, that's really helped us in terms of attendance down there. But there's the trees, there's shade that's there. And a band performing to 300 people at Davis Park feels substantial, feels full. Mm-hmm. When you put 300 people, 400 people, and you got parking at Owen Bell, think about that too, is very limited. 300 people at Owen Bell Park looks like there's hardly anybody there to the people that are performing. So.
There is, do you also coordinate with other commissions in town, like the ones that do the walks, the trails on the various areas? Do you coordinate as these are also programs that are offered in town? Are there other commissions that sort of do stuff like you're doing, but seem to do it separately?
Yeah, we highlight those. I'll use the Last Green Valley, for example.
Okay.
Ranger Marcy is no longer there. That's who I used to work with a lot. But they're really good at getting our information in their guide and vice versa. So communicating that, I know that Donna Bromwell and the Conservation Commission, they do a lot of their own hikes. So we're kind of like, we have a community board. I'm happy to share information when they bring it to us. They're like, hey, you've got 8,000 followers on Facebook. We only got 4,000. Can you share our posts? So there's a lot of collaborative, getting the word out there for things.
Is this something, sorry to interrupt, is this something that Town Hall maybe ought to be doing, putting together a listing of everything that's happening in town?
They do have that on the town website too, which is why, one of the reasons for the restructuring to make it easier. If you go onto a website and you can't click 2 or 3 times before you can find what you're looking for, you lose people. So I will say the new website is very, very user-friendly. So I think you need to give it a little time and energy to see where that goes.
Okay.
I also think we we're now collaborating too with Cat Hollow. We've done a lot of work there with that, the Master Gardeners who have done an absolute incredible job over there. So yes, we do, and Donna Bromwell had a lot to do with that too. So we do collaborate with them when it comes to those types of programs. When we move over to Westfield, a lot of, again, I kind of knew, but I wasn't really aware of it, that there's actually a garden club that has a garden there at the Westfield School that we're going to be moving to. So again, there's opportunities to expand and do those types of programs with the community.
Sarah?
Thank you. My first time being up here, so thanks for being my test bunnies over there. In terms of the funding for the department, where do you see your lowest, demographic-wise, like your lowest attendance, whether that's seniors, pre-K, young adults, adults, and then where do you see your lowest funding that you're getting in from the community?
Lowest is probably 3 and under, I would say, for programming. I don't know that. I mean, our seniors are really expanded. The middle age youths, we have 370 kids from first grade all the way up to 8th grade. Teenagers, see, it doesn't have to be that they're involved in programming or recreation. We hire high school staff for our summer camp. We hire high school staff for youth hoop refereeing. We hire high school staff for scoring, timing, for door monitoring. So they are involved in our programs. I just think the funding overall, we try to divide so that there's funding for every single, enough for each. We put a little more probably into events and certain programs that need equipment. When we do a new program, we may have to buy some sort of new equipment that we don't have. So we try to put our, what we have, our limited funded, into that. And then if that program takes off, then we put in and try to see if we can get more and expand it.
Only asking too, because I wonder if there's some disconnect between there, like how she mentioned, like having a mom group and having that support. If there's a certain demographic that might not have as much attendance or companies are not willing to fund them as much, I wonder if there's a disconnect where maybe we can help figure out something vision-wise to get that community to say, oh, I really want to do that idea. I really want to give you that funding. It sounds like a great plan, to then help you guys create a bigger activity or anything for anybody.
The other thing I wanted to mention before, the community center, we also have homeschoolers. So I wanted to mention that. That's one of the things that's been gym rental, yes, requested. So we have open gyms during the day, and when we say I talk about the whole community, so they're not excluded. So they come twice a week right now, I believe, different groups, different homeschool groups. So we are touching as many people as we can. We're also obviously the warming center. So because we're open until 8 o'clock most nights, we do have homeless people that are coming to the community center and are staying. So, you know, we touch just about every group that there is in the town. So, and as Holly said before, we are the one, if not the only department that has theater, that has a theater program. So we just feel that that's so valuable and unique because we are one of the only ones that do that. Other towns that have theater, obviously Putnam, right? They're their own. They're a business. Wyndham, same. You know, it's not run by their rec department. So, so we're fortunate that we're able to do that.
Holly, could I just ask you a question? So when you get the new theater, are you also getting access to new equipment and resources, or you're bringing it over from the community center?
I think at this point, it will be a mix of both.
Okay.
Just because the scope of the funding didn't cover all of the things that will be required to open up, not just the theater, but the whole space.
Mhm.
So it'll be a mixture of both.
So that's, yeah.
The equipment that we have now is older than I am, so I'm hoping that it's a little less of a mix than it is currently, but I think it's going to be a mix.
So, okay.
So I can probably answer that better. Not that she didn't answer it, meaning I'll be able to, I should know these answers for this one. So the theater over at Westfield has some structural issues when we got in there. So rigging and those sorts of things. So, and obviously all the equipment there was pretty much as old as the equipment we have at the current center. Although we've actually added some LED lighting at our current center, but we really need to upgrade sound and lighting. And so we've gone out and received donations and funds for that. The project, current project at Westfield didn't include the theater, but now they have some funding that has just to be able to get us in there to be, fire safety, to be safe. The curtains need to be replaced. We got donations for that. There needs to be a chairlift, accessible chairlift in the theater, so that someone who's handicapped can get up onto the stage from the inside. So we have to get that done first, and then we don't have quite enough money that's been donated to cover total of lights and sound, but we feel that we have resources that we're going to be utilizing to raise money to be able to then put in the lighting and sound that we need. I will tell you, it's very, very expensive. You might know, but it's extremely expensive.
Sarah, you had your hand up again. Did you just want to say?
I just want to say thank you guys because, I have a coworker who lives in Putnam and she bleeds blue for Putnam and for her sons who were there. And growing up in Plainfield, you didn't have this community feel. You didn't feel like you could go on a website and figure out what to do. No shade to them, but unfortunately it was either go to the town pool or go walk the streets. So I think you guys are doing a very good job. And I don't think it's necessarily like a pure disconnect with what you guys are doing. I agree that the communication and the collaboration needs to be equally met on the receiving part because you guys are doing a great job. But I do think we need more of the community to also give their outreach and their output, because we can only meet so much before it's us giving our all, and we don't get anything to help us. So I think you guys are doing a really great job.
Thank you. I also want to add, so we do have resources that we reach out to as well. So I mentioned Putnam, obviously, but all the area rec directors are local rec directors. And I'll add Anthony, because some towns do have assistants. We meet occasionally. We try to meet every other month. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but we try to meet so that we can discuss exactly what you're asking about trends in our town, and we discuss those things with the other rec departments. Griswold, Plainfield, Putnam, Thompson, Woodstock. They all come. We all get together and talk about these things. And then our other resource that we reach out to is, obviously, we belong to the Connecticut Recreation and Parks Association. So all those other directors within those other towns, across the river, everywhere in Connecticut, I get questions all the time. Hey, how do you guys do, whatever it may be? Can you give us some statistics or something? And I'll be going out and asking the same types of questions of all those other towns, so that we can get those answers when we have things that we want to try to figure out for our town that would best suit our town. We will go to other towns and ask. So it's a nice luxury to have, because sometimes I don't have the answers for everything here, right? So I always go to other people, and I'm not afraid to do that, to ask, and neither is my staff. We go to the conference every year, the Connecticut Recreation Parks Association conference, and we take classes that talk about the things that are the trends that are going on around the country, and things that we should be looking at. So we do those things, and all our staff, at least our certified staff, myself, Anthony, and Tommy, attend those classes.
There were one or two things that were mentioned. Is there any possibility, or will you have like small study areas, little groups, or small meetings could take place at the new facility?
Yeah, there are some empty rooms that will be able to be set up for meeting rooms. There's actually one room that will be just for meetings that has already been designated. But if Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, different groups or agencies come in and are looking for meeting space, yes, that will be available.
Okay. Another thought that was expressed is somewhere, if the town could provide the ability to help people with resume writing, with small low-level skills that maybe is not being provided elsewhere. A major comment has been that for those students who are not accepted at Ellis Tech or don't go to QV and graduate high school, what happens to them? Is there anything that can be done to get them some kind of skills or something to help them advance a little bit?
So I don't know if that's through recreation or if that would be through the Board of Education, but I will say that at Westfield, they are doing adult education in the evening there.
Okay.
EastCon.
EastCon,
Yep. And
at the high school.
where we're,
They have an adult ed services.
Ed
Oh, they have
services.
it, okay, all right.
yep. So I don't know exactly what their classes are that they're offering, but I know that's going to be happening. And Holly also mentioned the library has done that before.
They've done it, yeah.
Yes.
So the Killingly School District, they've created their own program what used to be EastCon. I forget,
okay.
I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. But I know that they have adult programs that are similar in nature in the evenings there, which could include resume type writing. I know in the past, the library is one that I know helps with resumes, or they bring contractors in. I will say to anybody watching and to you guys, we have a program proposal, so that's somebody that could be a business owner or a contractor, or they want to teach something. Fill that out, submit it to us, we look at it, we sit down, we make meetings and all that stuff, and that's how we end up developing our programs. So I am currently trying to find somebody that wants to do child motor development classes, so if anyone's out there, hit me up. There's definitely programs that have taken place, I know, for resumes, though. Just picking on that.
That's kind of skills. No?
No question. I just want to thank you again, because my children have taken advantage of your programs for years. And, you know, with Third Bush from the left, and have several programs in the community theater. But it's been great. It's been a wonderful, enriching experience for my family. So thank you.
I want to add one thing.
Yeah.
Because I've worked in obviously 3 towns, including Killingly. I will say that this town, the staff, and I'm not talking about rec staff now, I'm talking about the town hall staff, really does a great job working together. So I work with the engineering department. I didn't have that luxury in other towns. I work, you know, with everyone here. If there's a project that we're doing, highway department, all you have to do is look at the amounts of money that we've saved by in-house projects that we've done just at Owen Bell Park, just that pond alone, to dredge that pond. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were saved in that project just by utilizing, and we work well together, whether it's with snow removal, snowstorms, communication. That here in Killingly within happens quite well compared to other places that I've experienced. Not so much. So that's a great tool moving forward. So we do have resources that we're able to tap into, which is really nice. You know, we're going to be, again, we've got so much going on. We're going to be putting in 6 new pickleball courts, outdoor pickleball courts at Westfield. So that old tennis court is being redone. That's already gone out to bid. We have the funding. That's happening this spring. Along with those 6 pickleball courts will be a basketball court and a multi-purpose use court over at Westfield. So again, you know, so many things happening. Our staff is very busy, but we get a lot of help from, like I said, engineering, putting all this stuff together. Also, you know, work that can be done in-house to save money so that it doesn't cost as much. So there's a lot of that happens here, which I don't know if that's been mentioned at any of the meetings, but I think it should be mentioned because that's very important.
How does that? I'm sorry. How did that coordinate? Do you have department head meetings scheduled and periodic? Is that how it goes?
Yeah. So we every month I have a department head meeting, but quite honestly, I have everybody. Yeah. So if I need assistance, it's either from the office, I can make a phone call, or I'm an in-person kind of guy. I have an open door policy. I'm sure you've been at the community center and seen how many people are always in my office talking. Mm-hmm. It's hard to get a lot of work done, but I'm about the community. I want to get input, speak to people. So for me, I'm always over here if I need to talk or ask questions about something that we need. I'd rather meet in person. So that's how that happens.
Good. One final thought, just a final one. I know Putnam has like an arts committee of people of artists that work together with the town or with business. Would such a committee be helpful to you?
Yeah, and if you look around the town, I don't know if you've seen the Laotian.
Yeah,
So that was through Jill
Yeah.
in
economic.
economic. So, and we've worked with the Lao community, like Holly said, we did the New Year's, the Lao New Year at the community center. We welcome them in. So we are doing more with the arts. But yes, that would absolutely be welcomed.
Yeah, they seem to, somehow some group there has got this mural project going now there.
Mention the murals.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Putnam does.
But mention
Yeah,
the
so
murals at Westfield that we want to do.
we're currently right now, there's a lot of potential in the hallways at the Westfield location. So on page 12 of our activity guide, we're doing a mural contest where people can submit ideas and do that. I will say too, with the murals that are in our current building, the art teacher that Eileen Malat, former art teacher at Killingly Intermediate School, she's now in Putnam, but she did the majority of those murals in there. Rena from Tunk City did a lot of murals, which again, connecting to theater, when we're building sets, you need those people, those artistic people that can either do the art or a carpenter that creates type things. That opens up so many abilities to, like, hey, do you want to do a woodworking class? Or you're really good at, like, so there's a lot of just spending the time to be able to sit with people and talk with them about programs and events and all that stuff, and it leads to other opportunities. And the entire team on the rec side and on the theater side are really, really good at doing that and bringing those things up.
Thank you. Any others? We thank you very much for coming here. It's been very insightful, and it certainly made me realize too, you're doing a hell of a lot of stuff here. The town needs to know what you're doing.
Yeah, I just think in closing, I think what I had said with that, getting that collaboration together, I think I'm hoping that's the direction we want to go in moving forward. And so if we can get, and again, it's hard because I'll use KBA as an example. Their leadership changes constantly. So you're always working with new people who have different ideas. So it's hard to collaborate, but I go to those meetings because I actually meet with people from the high school who are also there. So I see others. I see Claudette, obviously from the library, who's at that meeting. So I'll talk to Dave Griffiths, who's here at the meeting, who's representing the town council. So, there's a great opportunity when you're in those meetings to be able to talk to different people. Chad Neal from the high school, who does the career stuff with the high school students. Again, we've talked about, hey, how can we collaborate and get that word out? And even Chad has said, do they realize what we're doing with the students? And I'm like, no, I don't think people understand. I don't know how we get it out there, but I think the way we start is to get everybody, all those people in a room, and then sit down and figure that out.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if that's how Putnam did it, but I think not that we want to be them. We want to be ourselves. We want to have our own identity, but I think it's a good model to look at. I just think we do some things differently than they do, which is okay, and they do some things that we don't do, and they have the luxury of having the radio station.
Yes.
So that's a huge way of getting the word out too. So, and that's a cost for us. Understand, we do the radio, but that's in our Holly's going to be on the radio this Thursday talking about the next play that's coming up this weekend. So we do get out there and we do advertise our programs. I don't know if people in Killingly listen to Winnie Radio. I know they're on Winnie Facebook, so they can have the opportunity to see us. We're on there all the time. So.
We thank you
Thank you.
again very much. Thank you for
Great
coming,
info, appreciate it.
very much so. Okay, let's go through very quickly. Time is moving on, but
Thank you.
Thank you, nice
Thank you so
meeting you.
much.
just to keep you folks up to date, Fred and I did go to the town council meeting where we explained what we were doing. Dave was there clearly, and I think we got a positive response and that they, I hope, began to see what we are doing there.
What kind of questions did you get?
Hardly any,
Okay.
actually. I did make the offer to all council persons there that if they felt that they wanted to organize meetings for any of their constituents, that we would be open to that idea. They did not respond, but the offer is there, and we will see what's happening, okay, on something like that.
Was there
Okay.
any input in terms of what they're expecting to see over the next 8 months from us in terms of updates or even a final product at this point?
No, I indicated that we were aiming to finish towards the end of the year. Then we would present whatever we put together to the council, who obviously would look it over, and then it might take a few months after that to go back and forth, okay? Yeah, there has to be collaboration, and that seems okay. I don't see any comments on that, Dave? No? Leave it?
If we all can work together, we'll solve a lot of problems.
There you go. We'll do it. Good. Okay.
1 second.
Oh, yes, David. Come on.
I think the biggest, one of the biggest assets that Killenly has that we are not utilizing is our riverfront.
Yes, that's come up many times.
It's come up
Yes.
around this table.
And that riverfront is part of the river trail that we need to finish developing to Putnam. And the river trail to Plainfield. We often had talked in the past about having a sign, "Welcome to Killenly." When the mill went in on the corner, that sign went down and we never got any sign back up.
Yep.
We need something to identify
a
you're
good point.
coming to Killenly.
Yeah.
I
That
think
should,
I think you're spot on in terms of the riverfront. I don't know of a community that has actively utilized their riverfront for passive recreation, for a center of activity, commercial activity, that hasn't completely benefited from it. Even if it's not a large section, and this one isn't too bad, I do think, it was one of the first things that I thought of when I even got involved with the Vision Committee is we have water. People love water. And for us to not do too much with it, I think is something that should be addressed.
Are you both speaking about the Commerce Way, that stretch there behind,
back there.
behind Main Street?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's a little spot, there's spots over there that can be a draw. We've seen what it's done in many communities in Rhode Island that are not waterfront.
And you know, sometimes you try some things and they just don't work out. I thought for sure bringing the Superior Court to here and give them some land so they'd build the building, that we would generate a lot of business. That didn't really ever happen. The only thing it did was it cleaned up Maylocks, cleaners, and all that housing that was in the back, and did create a lot of nice parking in back of Main Street. And I think so many people would rather park in the back of a building and not worry about the cars on Main Street. So parking is important, especially if it isn't on Main Street, so they can feel safer. I think going forward with the cameras on Main Street is a
Yeah.
big thing to have happen.
Yep.
Um,
many of these things
We also have-
Yep.
We also have to get rid of our eyesore. Those old factories that went down have gotta be cleaned up. It is a huge deficit to Killenly for people to drive through and see them. Perfect place for, maybe we should be looking at them as a multi-use, like they're zoned, to try to bring in some housing, to try to mix use. We've got to make sure that we take care of that. Cat Hollow was a wonderful thing. People enjoy walking on a piece of pavement that wide and having your park benches and everything. The bridge over the top of the water, that a lot of people don't even know where it is, but there's a lot of positive things that we can expand on and grow even further to make Killenly a destination where you're really proud to be without sacrificing our rural character. Thank you. You have any questions for me?
No, I
Maybe?
think, no, not at all. Actually, appreciate you. I think what you mentioned is actually a lot of what we've been hearing
Oh, yeah.
from the community. I've said, I think a lot of things that you just mentioned, we've been hearing from the community, and that's been a lot of the feedback, so that's great that you're in alignment with what they're saying. I'm a big believer in what you mentioned. I've always said cities are judged at 65 miles an hour. On the highway, towns are judged by what they see at the red lights and on the main road. And you've got two opportunities here, and Killenly's kind of unique in that regards. You have two major traffic patterns, and we're judged as we go through. Do we want to stop? Where do we want to go? And mill is a big, big issue. It's unfortunate we don't have the mill buildings that can be converted, but the space is there. I know it's not cheap, but there's a lot of acreage there. But even if it was just grass, it'd be better than what it is right now. So,
Well, it's nice that you already have sewer and water hookup to most of these already. So they're already, it's the brownfields cleanup that's got to take place
Sure.
to make them safe so we can build and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Okay. Let me just quickly tell you, Fred and I went to the fire chiefs meeting. It was a good meeting. We had a lot of good discussion. They gave us ideas. Mainly their problem, like ours, is volunteers and money. Okay, but they deal with that. They certainly have their own budgets and do not want to otherwise go together or, okay. But Fred is working with them, each of the fire chiefs who have agreed they'll try to see if they can arrange a meeting at each fire station for the constituents, the people who live in
That
their
would be awesome.
areas.
That would-
He's
that would
he's
really
working on that, okay? And he'll let us know, okay?
So are you following up with them in terms of their progress on that?
Fred is.
Fred is, okay.
That's his, I've asked him if he would do that,
Mhm.
and he is doing that, yes.
Cool.
Social services meeting was delayed because of snow and things. The new date is March, March 1 at 3 p.m., I think I have it, yeah. It's at the Westfield Church, okay? If I have that correct, it should be a Sunday. And if persons would like to go, I will go, but it's good to have other persons there too, if you can go, okay?
What time is that?
3 o'clock.
I'd like to go to that. I haven't been there.
That will be nice. Oh, yeah,
Got that one, you can use that.
there you go.
And I'm part of that group, so I'll be there.
I know that you'll be there, and
Representing
that's-
that side of it, so.
Yeah, so that's excellent. I told you about the educators meeting. We had the two persons there from the high school and the person from the, I'll call it the alternate school, the middle college, that is
Yeah.
attached to QV. The three others did not come. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. I was a little disappointed, but you do the best that you can. They certainly were all aware of it. They knew what was happening and
Mhm.
had originally agreed to come.
Okay.
I did suggest to them, please, if you could distribute a QR code to your students and do it in a class and get some input and send it in to us. The only thing I said, if you do that, would you ask, please, if they would notate on it student input so that we know it's
Mhm.
coming from them. And we'll see what input we get there.
Was there any opportunity for us to go to their students? When I meant, when we did the community night, I'm sorry. I do better if you just bang on the window or something, but anyway. It was there, when we were there for the community night, I mentioned with one of the, talked with one of the administrators, and they talked about an after-school program that they have. Several after-school programs, they're almost community-based, and I thought it might be an opportunity for one or two of us to go and interview them, tell them a little bit about what we are.
You know something, what about we met with the student council?
That's,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah.
let the student council run with this, because it's, you know, they're
Yeah.
civically minded as it is.
I'd like to just give them an opportunity, or give us an opportunity to hear from them,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
opposed to us.
That's a very interesting thought, that
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
the student to meet with them.
Now that you have,
Yeah.
now that you have connections.
Yeah.
Well, with two of them.
But,
And
okay.
with the other three.
But I think the
Okay.
high school, what I think is, one of the things in terms of the responses we're getting a lot of responses of people with kids. What I like about going to the high school is talking with the kids who have been through the rec program, and they're getting ready to go somewhere
Ah,
else.
Get some input that way.
Yeah, I just,
I'm
Like
gonna
the
make a
that's-
note of
that'd
that.
be- Even if it's only a dozen of them or something like that, it's a group that we haven't really
start
heard
with
from
the
directly.
class president, class vice president, go with
Something,
that,
yeah.
that whole, you know?
Okay.
And let them kind of, I
That-
bet you they'll have ideas how to get
That's
the
a
word out.
very good idea. Okay. I'll pursue that. I'll see.
I
if
think
I'll
that
speak to-
idea coming from their peers rather than people just walking in or
Well-
telling them to, hey, go on this website, sign up, input,
Yeah.
anything.
It'll be much better.
They're getting it, whether it's like a direct link that the student council creates, sends it out, and makes sure everybody answers it. I think it's a lot
I think
easier.
it's good. Yeah, I think that's good, and like I said, I would really enjoy just sitting and listening, answering the questions
Yeah.
live,
So
and
if
then
we-
watching them, you know how they go, they feed off one another,
That's right.
et cetera.
So the thing, what I'll do is, I'll see if we can establish when they have their council meetings.
Hmm.
And if they say at a certain day, at a certain time,
Yep.
I'll come back and see which of us can actually go on those days
Yep.
to their
Yeah,
meeting.
because I think, I know we had a goal of touching, of communicating with hundreds and hundreds of people. Here we are a year in almost, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of starting to, I'm not gonna say settle, but at least we can talk to a representative group
Yes.
of different
I think that's the right
people.
approach, yeah.
I don't know if the message is gonna be much different between a group of 10 and a group of 100 if they're all in that same demographic
That's a
or
good point,
something.
yeah.
So I'm
We-
just kinda wondering.
We're
if
also,
that's
Getting
the
input.
we're seeing
approach.
themes anyway, right? We're
Yeah.
starting to see
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
lining
Yeah.
up and down.
I think it's easier
Okay.
for them to bounce ideas off of each other because they're all in the same age group.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be scared to say something that,
Mhm.
oh, these people might not like that idea. They're all thinking the same thing, most likely.
I think that's
Okay, yeah.
what I really enjoy about this committee is the fact that we are just here to listen. We're not here to tell you what we think. We need you to tell us what
What you think.
they
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're just here
Okay.
to sponge it.
Quickly, letter local reps, you're still working on
Yeah, I'm
that.
gonna work on that. I think the letter's in pretty good shape now. I'm gonna start reaching out
Okay.
to, like I said, some targeted businesses. So again, that we can say, if I get one out of the four.
Okay.
We heard from the Realtor, which was a really good person to hear from. But like I said, we can talk to some employers in town. So I think the letter's in pretty good shape. Now it's just
So
a
you're gonna
matter.
send them out?
Yeah, now I'm gonna reach out and with some
Okay.
people and connections I know to see if they can get me to the right people.
Thank you, Paul.
Mm.
That's fine. Jaylee not here for the Easter egg hunt. She had some thoughts, that nothing we can do at this point, okay? Richard, did you want to talk any more about the possible website?
Well, let's see,
Here or there?
the domain, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, all right. The domain name Killingly Happenings is taken. And I've done some research in terms of how to be able to pull in data and also have talked to the Greater Chamber of Commerce. Now, for them, what happens is local entities that are having an event will submit it to them and they will post it to their website. But what I was trying to do is create more of like a catalog of calendars which are on other people's websites so that if somebody's looking for something, they can get it. I've also experienced or experimented with an AI script that can go out and find calendar events, but it
Let me answer.
tends,
I think it's my son.
it tends to go for the region and includes Killingly, but also quite a bit of Putnam, as well as the northeast corner. So the website is, right now says coming soon, and I guess the question really becomes, could I finish the website in what I call a static format, which means this coding behind it is what's going to grab any pieces of information.
Okay. You'll
And
keep working on
something to think
that.
about.
Okay, thank you, Richard. That's your baby. You'll work on it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Future meeting, let's wait. We have a meeting coming up in 2 weeks. I don't know if you got the date. It's the middle of March coming up. All right? I'm hoping that Ashley, she's very efficient, has you on her sites as well to send everything. But it's Wednesday, the 18th, I think it is. 17th, thank you. And it'll be here. Okay?
And
The rest we can
agenda's
wait.
gonna be,
March 17th?
what is the agenda for the what's the agenda for the 17th?
I haven't pulled it together yet.
Okay, very good, thank you. We'll just be here.
But maybe we'll talk about Jay Lee then, if we're in time for the Easter egg hunt. We'll see. And the other thing is, future meetings, we need to decide, do we want another town meeting? When? And what are the other groups we need to see? Because our tentative goal, Sarah, is to finish the data input by roughly the latest the end of July, so that we have 5 or 6 months to pull the whole report together. Mention one other thing, that the consultant, he's going to be coming in March. He's going to be on the agenda for the March meeting. He wanted to speak to Fred and I beforehand. He wanted to know what kind of questions he could be expecting. And so I said, okay, we're meeting on, I think it's the 3rd of March at the town manager's office for a just quick meeting with him, which he requested. That one won't be for charge. If you folks have questions, either have them ready for him at the time, or if you can text Jay Lee or me what they are, to let him know ahead of time. I
Just
don't
so-
know what, I don't know what, personally, I don't know what I can tell him.
I've lost a little track of the timing of dates. You're gonna meet with the consultant on the 3rd?
Before our meeting on the 18th, because he's coming on the 17th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's gonna be here on the 17th.
correct. No,
Okay.
Zoom.
So, yes, I mean, but we'll be
Yes.
talking with him on the 17th.
I will put him on the agenda almost immediately at 6:15. Get him right on.
Okay, then. And when would you want the questions by? That was,
If you can get them to me in the next 2 or 3 days, then
okay.
I can transmit them to him
Mhm.
when I meet with him and the town manager.
Okay. That's what I needed, thank you.
For your knowledge, Sarah, this is a consultant who has done vision plans before for other towns. We're not sure to the extent that we will work with him or need him. It's a work in progress, we'll see, okay? For one thing, he is expensive. But nonetheless, he could be of good help to us, just to let you know that, okay? All right.
You had an agenda item just about the numbers, so is it, do we know, is this right? So we've had 110 responses to the direct survey at this point? I'm just basing it on the.
Oh, I haven't even looked.
Sorry, yeah, the question is, what's that? Just leave them on? Are we up to 110 direct responses in addition to these? I'm just, like we had as an agenda item as to what our numbers are for the survey results, and I'm just kind of
Yes.
curious.
Some of them are duplicative as you're going through, because they're
Sure,
the same
yeah.
person. But I think 110 is the correct figure that, what Ashley has mentioned to me.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of,
Yeah.
you know, the kind of a test each month we should be just looking
Yeah.
at that.
I kind of hope, yeah.
And like,
first
well,
thing I look at.
and just kind of curious, like, we had 16 responses on January 8th. Did we do something special on January the 8th that drove that? That's interesting. That's an anomaly to me that
Mm.
we're seeing spikes of responses, and I'm just wondering, is there something?
I thought it was a matter of when things were being entered.
We had a meeting, remember, an early January meeting.
Is that what it
remember?
was? Yeah.
Remember, we had our meeting on the first Wednesday in January because we
Yeah.
didn't have the
Mhm.
December one?
Okay.
Maybe it was in response to that.
Maybe it could be then, yeah. I just want to see if there's something
Yeah,
out there
there's something
that is,
that we can do
something's
to-
working, something
Yeah.
worked on that day, and whether it was, you know,
There's one on the 19th of August.
what's it?
Also, there was like
A spike?
20.
That was the community event, yes. That was
Yes.
the community
Yeah.
event. So anyway, just trying to straight, because like, obviously, the numbers are.
Do we have any thoughts of having one or two of more of those at the library, or do you think that was just like a one and done?
No, that's when I said another public meeting that we
Yeah.
need to discuss.
Yeah.
When to, I'm guessing May, maybe? I don't know.
You know, when the
We
weather
need to all
breaks,
discuss
Yeah,
it.
when people
Yeah.
can get out.
We should certainly do one more for sure.
at least, yeah, and then whatever borough
Yeah, just,
ones that we can do, et
Yeah.
cetera.
district.
And we may at one point want to present some of the stuff we pulled together to a town meeting. But we're gonna
Wanna
work
get
that
closer.
out, how best to do it. Should the council see it first, then we do it, or do we put out a meeting? I don't know, I don't know, to get input perhaps then.
Have you and Fred been on Winnie yet? Have you, I thought that was
No,
a
not again.
discussion.
No,
Have you done
just-
it once? You did it one
Just
time?
We went
Okay,
one
good.
time,
All right.
Fairly early on.
yes, a little earlier back.
Yeah, we might be in the, we're still here phase.
Yeah,
The,
or use it to promote
Yeah.
that town, the next town hall, maybe, just to
Yep.
drive some.
So,
Okay.
all done?
Yeah, I think we took care of I and J right there.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so. I'll pick some other one.
You want a motion to adjourn?
That would be nice.
I so moved to adjourn. Second it.
I second it.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you all, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
very
Appreciate
it. Thanks, Richard.
informative,
Thanks, Richard.
and
We
welcome
had-
aboard, Sarah.
I think we had a productive meeting with them tonight.